Metaverse? What? You gotta be kidding me. Okay, we gotta sort this out. We have to have a talk about this, or I have to have a talk about it, and you have to have a listen, if you're willing to listen. And if you're willing to listen, I'm grateful. Hi, everybody, beautiful people. Joe here from Pictoria. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for taking the time to watch another video. Please like, please subscribe. That's going to help me grow the channel, and I would certainly appreciate that. The metaverse. This happened with the whole Facebook thing earlier this week, last week, and I didn't think too much about it. Of course, I was distracted with my own life. But I woke up this morning and I was in my own metaverse here in my brain. It was Saturday and I got to sleep late, and my mind started to wander down those roads, down those neighborhoods, down those cities, down those places inside of my own brain. And I thought, the metaverse, what's that? Well, one thing I think about is that as we go forward with it, by the way, there's no stopping it. The toothpaste is out of the tube, so to speak. The metaverse is basically here. It's just going to be formed in a different way, and it's really going to be something else to be believed or unbelieved. But my question, well, one of the 1,000 questions I have about it is, what we know now as the real world versus the metaverse, I am not sure we're going to be able to call the real world for much longer. So I looked up a couple terms like the meta-inverse, which I was hoping would be a term that we could use for the inverse of the metaverse, which would be the world that's not the metaverse. But that term, meta-inverse, is already used for something else. So I don't know what else to call the real world in context of the metaverse other than the non-metaverse, which would be everything outside of the metaverse. Because I think for a lot of people, or I worry that for a lot of people, the metaverse is going to become the real world. And in fact, I think in some cases, there are people who consider the metaverse the real world, and then the non-metaverse is something that is other. I don't know. But, so yeah, I have a lot of questions about this. Should I buy land in the metaverse? Should I buy tokens used in the metaverse? How do I do all that stuff? What if I don't? What if I have land in real world, which is the non-metaverse world, the physical world, versus virtual reality? That's another way of saying it. But as I move forward here, I will call the non-metaverse world the non-metaverse world, and the metaverse world the metaverse world. Hopefully that will keep things straight as we move forward, because I think we're going to need to keep things straight as we move forward. So what if I buy land in the metaverse? What if I can't afford to buy land in the metaverse? What if I miss out? What does that mean for me 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 50 years from now? Am I relegated outside of the metaverse to the non-metaverse world? And what happens to the non-metaverse world if the metaverse world really takes off? Are we going to have elected officials in the metaverse world? Presidents, mayors, Congress type people? Lawmakers in the metaverse world versus the non-metaverse world? How does all that work? What about the other one that no one's ever supposed to mention? You're not supposed to really talk about religion and politics, but will I be able to go to mass inside the metaverse? I'm sure I will. Interesting. So I'm kind of worried on one hand. If I'm a pessimist, look, let's split this video up into two parts. The optimistic part about the metaverse and the pessimistic part. Right? I mean, it's a powerful, powerful thing. And like anything powerful, we need to weigh the options here. And I'm not saying that I'm anti-metaverse. I'm not. I mean, it doesn't matter. I can't stop it anyway. But I'm just hoping for good here. So, worst case scenario. Worst case sci-fi scenario. everything in the non-metaverse world begins to get watered down and wasted away. People don't go to work anymore. There's nobody farming. There's no products being delivered. We live in this sort of weird, dark, apocalyptic, can't get anything, everything's been turned off, non-metaverse world. And everyone's hooked into the metaverse with their glasses or visual lenses or virtual reality portals, whatever they may be. And life is utopian there for most people. Here's another example. Let's say that at this point I take all of my worldly value and all my worldly possessions and cash them in for what we know as the old-fashioned US dollar, and then buy currencies in the metaverse in the form of tokens and NFTs, and I just pile it all in there. And then the metaverse world becomes a place that is a balance of good and bad, and people can be taken advantage of there, and maybe there's a market there and you buy and you sell. Maybe I lose everything. Maybe I cash in everything here in the non-metaverse world for the hopes of having a utopian lifestyle in the metaverse world, but something goes terribly wrong and I lose everything in the metaverse world. Thus, I'm poor in 2 dimensions. That's not good. Okay, well, let's get off that subject there for a while and let's talk about some optimistic things. Like anything, television, nuclear science, it can be used for good and bad. So I'm hoping here that as we move forward with it, it will be used for good. We have seen the dark side of social media. I think social media is really going to end up being an antiquated term and an antiquated sort of way of living in comparison to the metaverse. I think the metaverse is really going to be sensory in a way that like nothing we've ever had before, visually and affecting parts of the mind and creativity. And people will really get the idea that they're alive in this non-metaverse world, which can be good in some ways if it's used for entertainment and things of that nature. But so yeah, hopefully it will be. I'm trying to really get as excited about it as some other people are. But there's some things I'm seeing are, land rush inside of the metaverse world. And I'm telling you, it's like for the non-initiated, very challenging to figure out how to do this. You have to have currency exchange and a MetaMask wallet, and then you have to buy tokens, and then you have to use those tokens to buy an NFT. And some of you watching this video may not even know what any of that is. I barely know what it is, and it frightens me. Again, I don't mean to be an alarmist, and I need to quickly figure out a way to turn this video from potentially being negative to being positive, because I want this channel to be positive. So, all right, here. I want you to all be aware of the potential power of this metaverse and understand that it is going to be part of our lives as we move forward. What I don't want to see is young people or old people or people of all ages up all night in the metaverse like it's the modern day version of some kind of opium den, where people are just addicted to the metaverse and creating worlds there and living there and not living outside of it. We need to strike a balance. So I think that's my main concern. Okay, there, I said that. But can it be used for good, for science, for helping people, for connecting people, for entertainment? Heck yeah, it sure can. It's fascinating. Will people make money off it? People already are making money off of it, so I would caution you to be careful there. It is a game of the mind, but it is not really a currency of the mind, because you can literally lose money and currency that you work real hard for. So I would caution you there to really, really look into these things before you get involved with them. I guess I'm supposed to say not financial advice. This is not financial advice. This is practical common sense. So I think we need to, A, learn about the metaverse, because given the power that Facebook has had on our lives, if that's the direction Facebook is heading, it means it will become a form of reality in our lives. And I'm just saying we need to be careful there. So whatever term we want to assign to it, metaverse, and then we need to figure out a term for what we currently know as the real world, which is the meta-inverse. But again, that term is being used for something else. Apologies to someone who has already used that term. I don't mean to co-opt it in any way. But I guess we can call it the non-metaverse world, which would be everything outside of that. If I'm a terrific athlete inside of the metaverse, maybe I'm the best athlete inside the metaverse, whatever the games are. But the effort to get there costs me my physical and mental form here outside of the metaverse, and I end up being sort of, well, if you look at the Wizard of Oz was this giant presence, but when the curtains were pulled back, he was not so giant and not so powerful. So I'm worried that that might happen to a lot of people, and I think we just need to be careful about that. So I know this video is a bit of a rant. I wanted to really not offer any solutions here. I can't. I don't know enough about this, but what I'm doing is asking the community to perhaps leave some comments and help me understand. What are the pathways into this? What are the safe, logical, healthy ways in? I know you can buy land, you can buy NFTs, you would need to do that on websites, but you need a currency there as well. And is it an investment? And how much of a cost beyond financial should someone be willing to put into it? It apparently, on some level, has an addictive quality to it. You could get in and consider it a game, consider it a world, consider it a life. So I think that's a little bit, well, that's something that everyone's going to need to take care of on their own side. But when do you get outside in the non-physical world and walk, ride your bike, play tennis, climb a mountain, swim in a lake, feel the real water, hold people, hold real people, hold hands with the people you love, kiss the ones you love, go out with friends, go bowling, not virtual bowling, I mean real world bowling, and baseball and softball and basketball and riding your bike and fixing your car and going for a drive and all of those things. Everything we do in the non-metaverse can be done in the metaverse. And that's the thing I'm worried about, is that the lines will get too blurred, that this will become too powerful for society, and that we'll lose ourselves even further than we have lost ourselves. So, well, perhaps I'm being hyperbolic, but I guess I wanted your thoughts down in the comments. You can reassure me that we will not live in some kind of a cold, apocalyptic type dungeonous world in the non-metaverse, and those who are the fortunate ones will be wealthy and well off and powerful in the metaverse, and that's going to affect the non-metaverse. The other thing I'm thinking about here is it's kind of ironic that humans seem to are trying to leave the planet now, right? So we have a lot of people launching private spacecraft into space. And they say they're going to do it on behalf of everybody, but I kind of worry about that. Why? Why are we trying to leave? Can't we fix what we have here? And then for those who can't physically leave the planet, there will be the virtual metaverse where you can leave, just sort of check out and go there, but you'll still be here on Earth. Strange times, and a time, I think, in humanity that's sort of a fork in the road, and we can go one way or the other, but I do think we need to be very careful here. Okay, well, leave a comment, leave your thoughts, be nice, please. I'm not trying to be hurtful or harmful. I'm not saying I'm against the metaverse. I'm just saying I'm against pain and suffering. So I want to avoid that. If the metaverse is going to help us be happier and be healthier, I'm all for it. but it is a fork in the road, and we could go one way or the other. So yeah, a bit of a rant today. I guess I will get back to a structured video plan after this. We'll see. Just starting out the channel. Please like, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. I would appreciate your help on this whole topic. I'll do my research and see what I come up with. But yeah, that's it for now. I'm grateful if you've watched this far. I'm grateful for those of you who have subscribed to the channel so far, and those of you who like the videos, and those of you who approach this video with an open mind and understand that I was really kind of wound up all day about what the video was going to be, and I couldn't get away from this topic, so I had to lay it on down, people. And there it is. Help me out if you can. I'm grateful. Thank you, thank you. Be safe, be careful, love one another, and you look great. I'm very proud of you. Off I go. Thanks.